Good morning, afternoon, or evening. This is a message from Spirit. And I was guided to lesson number 24 in A Course in Miracles. I do not perceive my own best interests. In no situation that arises do you realize the outcome that would make you happy. Therefore, you have no guide to appropriate action and no way of judging the result. What you do is determined by your perception of the situation, and that perception is wrong. It is inevitable then that you will not serve your own best interest, yet they are your only goal in any situation which is correctly perceived. Otherwise, you will not recognize what they are. If you realize that you do not perceive your own best interest, you could be taught what they are. But in the presence of your conviction that you do know what they are, you cannot learn. The idea for today is a step toward opening your mind so that learning can begin. The exercises for today require much more honesty than you are accustomed to using. A few subjects honestly and carefully considered in each of the 5 practice periods which should be undertaken today will be more helpful than a more cursory examination of a large number. 2 minutes are suggested for each of the mind-searching periods which the exercises involve. The practice period should begin with repeating today's idea, followed by searching the mind with closed eyes for unresolved situations about which you are currently concerned. The emphasis should be on uncovering the outcome you want. You will quickly realize that you have a number of goals in mind as part of the desired outcome, and also that these goals are on different levels and often conflict. In applying the idea for today, name each situation that occurs to you and then enumerate carefully as many goals as possible that you would like to be met in its resolution. The form of each application should be roughly as follows. In the situation involving blank, I would like blank to happen, and so on. Try to cover as many different kinds of outcomes as may honestly occur to you, even if some of them do not appear to be directly related to the situation, or even to be inherent in it at all. If these exercises are done properly, you will quickly recognize that you are making a large number of demands on the situation which have nothing to do with it. You will also recognize that many of your goals are contradictory, that you have no unified outcome in mind, and that you must experience disappointment in connection with some of your goals, however the situation turns out. After covering the list of as many hoped-for goals as possible for each unresolved situation that crosses your mind, say to yourself, I do not perceive my own best interests in this situation, and go on to the next one. And what I saw was that it's really the essence of what you want. Your spirit knows this. Your spirit knows everything because it's connected to everything. So if you allow your spirit to take the driver's seat, you're going to be okay. So it's moving down into your heart and out of your head and letting go of these things, surrendering. What is it that you think that you want? Surrendering that to your spirit or God or love, however you want to call it. And you will see that some things are going to be crashing down. Some big systems are going to be crashing down, and it's going to get messy. But that is all happening so that what is real and what is essential and what it is that we are all looking for can come to fruition. And it involves what really matters, our connection to life, to nature, to others, to ourselves. It involves love and peace and joy. So don't be afraid about how it looks right now. It's going to get messy. Just know that this is all for you. Okay, I'm going to pull some cards from the Caroline Myss archetypes. Whew, I'm yawning. I heard that yawning is releasing negative energy or energy that you don't need anymore. Toxic energies. Yawning and burping. That's what I heard. Probably farting too. Oh my god, I'm talking about that. Okay, so Carolyn Myss Archetypes cards. Let's look at what the major archetypes are that we're working with right now. And get some more information about that. Okay. We got Warrior, and this is just the card of looking at light and shadow attributes. So Warrior, strength, skill, discipline, and toughness of will. Heroism, stoicism, and self-sacrifice in conquering the ego. We're conquering the ego. That's interesting, right? The shadow attributes, but I don't think it's good to get rid of the ego. A lot of people say that you want to get rid of the ego. I think it needs to come into balance, and I don't think you get rid of anything. I think you accept and agree to everything, and you allow it to take its place in balance with everything else. Shadow attributes, trading ethical principles for victory at any cost. Indifference to the suffering inflicted on others. Okay, so the light attributes are strength, skill, discipline, and like discernment, knowing what is in your own best interest and what doesn't serve you. Toughness of will. What do you want? Or what do you think that you want? And what is the essence of that? Heroism, stoicism, and self-sacrifice in conquering the ego. I don't like stoicism. I'm sorry. I just really, for me, that means pushing down feelings. I think it's gotten confused with pushing down feelings. And so that word kind of messes with me a little bit, because it's not about pushing down feelings. It's about feeling your feelings, not always acting out on them, but feeling them, honoring them, and caring for them. And I have a model for that, which is just acknowledge, maybe place your hand wherever you feel it, validate it. Of course you feel that way. Your perception of the situation is this, or the story you're telling yourself is this. So you allow also for that story to, maybe that's not the right story, maybe that's not the right perception, but you say, of course you're feeling that way. The story you're telling yourself is, and then what do you need right now to care? What do you need right now for me to care for you? And I externalize it as if it's my inner child feeling it, because then the feeling doesn't overwhelm me or take over me. Self-sacrifice in conquering the ego. Ooh, I don't like that either. Okay. But there's a place for your warrior. That's what's important to know. So let's look at your warrior. Let's see what other cards we're working with. So there's something that you're fighting. There's something that you're trying to fight against. And just remember that anything that you're fighting against, you're putting energy towards. And whenever you put energy towards a fighting against something, you're just fueling whatever it is that you're trying to fight. So maybe recognizing the contrast, recognizing it as contrast, and what do you want to see in place of that? If there's something that you're feeling like you really angry and upset about, what is it that you want to see in place of that? Can you put energy towards that? And can you use your strength and skill and discernment to fight and will, not to fight, but to work towards that, to bring it out into the world, to express it. Sometimes it does feel like a fight to do that. Okay. What other archetypes are we working with right now? Yeah, I'm also seeing the Warrior as, you know, what are those things that keep coming back that you have already decided that you don't want in your life? You know, you do have to fight to maintain those boundaries sometimes. Maybe not necessarily fight, but use your strength and your will to stand up for yourself and say, no, I'm not going to do that. I had to do that yesterday when I got caught in a situation where, and I do this a lot, where I'm like, I want to see everything in a good, positive light, but I have to also be able to see what's there. And some people are not choosing to heal. Some people are choosing instead to stay the same. And I have to sometimes be able to see that, because it works against me when I don't. And then I'm in a situation again where I'm not using my discernment to say that I don't want that energy anymore. I don't want that energy anymore. That energy doesn't serve me. And so sometimes it does feel like you have to fight to maintain your boundaries. Okay, so we also got the Virgin, the Poet, and the Vampire. So let's see, what is this story that we're looking at right now? So the Virgin is maintaining symbolic purity of heart and spirit. I do think that is okay, that makes sense to me. It's what I was saying about like wanting to live in that spiritual place, right? Wanting to live in your spirit and in your heart, and finding your way to a new, where you can be that, you know, finding your own sanctuary where you can be that. But sometimes we have to recognize what it is that we don't want there and set those boundaries and let go of that. Don't allow that in. And the Poet is, the Poet is the language of the heart and the spirit. It's metaphor. It's really metaphor. It's beautiful. It's beautiful when you start to be able to speak this language. I'm starting to be able to speak this language, and it's so romantic. It expresses soul insights in symbolic language. So that's the light attribute of the Poet. So you're learning how to speak spirit and heart, or speak through your spirit and through your heart, and to see through your spirit and your heart. The shadow attribute turns a lyric gift to a negative or destructive effect. Okay, so I think that we feel that when there's something inside us that's bothering us. The Vampire makes you aware that someone or something is draining your life force. That's kind of where it goes back to the Warrior in the beginning. There are certain people and maybe even situations or places where that do drain your life force. And in order for you to maintain that really strong connection to your spirit, symbolic purity of heart and spirit, in order to do that, you have to be able to recognize what's depleting you, what's draining you. And then the shadow attributes are depleting others for your psychic survival, chronic complaining, and codependency. So that's what happens when you don't honor your own boundaries, is you start to do that to other people too. It's just you get out of balance. So recognizing that and being able to say, no, we're not doing that anymore. I didn't read the shadow attribute of the Virgin, but it's fear of intimate union. And that it's intimate union with God and with your spirit and with life when you recognize that we are all one. And you are a part of that. You're a unique and you're a unique, special part of that. So you get to be you, and you get to be unique, and you get to be different, and you're connected to everything. And so you can just flow with everything in peace and harmony. That's really how it's going to be. But we have to be able to say, we're finding our rightful place, okay? So it's not with people that drain you, and it's not with people that irritate you. And sometimes it's hard because we have these connections with people that we have to maintain in some form, but how can we do that and not let them drain our energy and our life force and irritate us? Okay, so now I'm going to get some cards from the Light Seers Tarot by Chris Ann. What else can you tell us about this story of the warrior, the virgin, the poet, and the vampire? It's funny, my sister is a poet, and I've never really liked words, but I'm understanding now, like, the beauty of metaphor and of like the beauty of metaphor really, and how the soul speaks, how beautiful it is. I'm more like a quiet and stillness, like that's where I feel God, in the quiet and the stillness. But I like now to be able to express what I'm feeling through poetry, through imagery. And some people can do it through art. That's also really beautiful. What is your art? This is kind of my art. I love to take one idea that comes through from spirit and then look at it and find my way back to the beginning of it. Like to find the message from the beginning. How it all fits together. I love to see how it all connects and fits together. So this is kind of my art. Okay. Okay. That's funny. Got the Two of Cups. And I was just listening to one of my favorite tarot card readers this morning, Dove and Serpent Tarot. And I got dizzy when I bent down. And he had the Two of Cups for my reading today. So we got the Two of Cups. So I think we're moving towards self-love and possibly towards love of another. And a more pure love this is like a connection, a spiritual connection with yourself or another person. Or another person, because I'm also finding as we are true and loyal to ourselves, we attract people that are good for us and that are good for our spirit and that we have a spiritual connection with. And love becomes a lot easier that way. You don't have to try so hard. My last relationship was a lot of efforting, a lot of working really hard. And I'm finding that it doesn't have to be that way. Things can flow a lot more naturally and easier when you're in your heart and your spirit. And honoring and being loyal to yourself. That was very difficult for me when I ended up getting a divorce. I noticed that I had been loyal, so loyal to my ex-husband, and to my mother. Like that connection was very like strong. It was, my loyalty went to them first before myself. And it was all messed up that way. And so it was very difficult extricating my loyalty away from my mom and away from my ex-husband and bringing it back to myself, being loyal to myself. That was very difficult. It just didn't feel right for a while. And now it feels right being loyal to myself. But it was very strange. It was a very strange feeling and realization that I had been loyal to my mother and to my ex-husband before myself. So it's extricating that and bringing it back to you, being loyal to yourself. Not really to your ego, but to your heart and to your soul or your spirit. Honoring that. What do you need to do to honor that? To honor yourself and your spirit and your heart. Sometimes it's making really difficult choices. Oops. Okay. We got temperance. Yeah, that's that fire, like burning off the things that no longer serve us. The Ten of Swords, really leaving them behind. We're getting a lot of the same cards. Like this is the completion. Oh, Three of Cups and the King of Pentacles. Wow. Three of Cups and the King of Pentacles. This is cool. Yeah, I mean, for me, like I had a situation yesterday where a part of my past came back. And I wanted to make peace with it so much that like, but the way that I wanted to make peace with it was like, I'm good, everything's good, and I can love you now in a different way. But they were not ready for that. They were not ready for that. And because of that, I got caught up in a negative cycle that I used to be in, which is where everything, once I noticed it, I got myself out of it, but it was like, oh, now you're here, you can take care of everything, and I'm going to escape. And then everything just got dumped on me. And I was like, oh, hell no, I'm not doing this anymore. And so I did what I felt was right for me and for another person involved. And then I was like, okay, I did what I felt like I needed to do. And now I'm out of here. I'm going to take care of myself. And I felt really good about that because I was being loyal to myself. Okay, so let's see what these cards, what's the story that these cards, did I tell you that we got the King of Pentacles at the end too? So Three of Cups. So this is saying to me that you're finding your tribe. You're going to find your people and your place in the world. But you have to be able to let go of that which does not serve you anymore. And it sometimes does involve making really difficult decisions. I want to read a little bit more about temperance. Okay, so you are in union with yourself or another, and this is alchemy, blending energies, harmony, masculine and feminine balance. So this may be within you. Duality and amalgamation, the fluidity of time, meditation, the perpetual motion of life, entering the flow. But you're on a new stream now. You're on a new path. Restraint, patience, and purpose. So really kind of, I'm going to listen to the other cards too with the warrior and really knowing where you want to go. So I read to you in the beginning, the Course in Miracles. You do not know, I do not perceive my own best interests. So sometimes we don't perceive our own best interests, but God or Spirit or your higher self will guide you to that. And it's about listening to that and letting go of those things that maybe you thought were right for you before, but they're no longer working for you. They're no longer serving you. It says, I walk the middle path and I nourish my spiritual wholeness. Temperance is the alchemist of life, and it calls you to create your purposeful blend using moderation and patience as ingredients. Where are you focusing your precious energy right now? Maybe you've been overdoing it in your social life, or binging on television, drink, or food, or overspending. I was also noticing that. Like, I'm not happy with what I've been eating. Like, I went through a lot recently, so I was just kind of rewarding myself with food for everything that I've been through. It's been a lot. But now I don't feel good about the way that I don't feel good about my body right now. So I want to take better care of my body. So focusing on and this brings it back to the vampire. Focusing on a relationship that is depleting more energy than it is replenishing. But it could be your relationship with food, you know? Like, if you're eating food that doesn't replenish you, then maybe that's what you need to leave behind. It's not always a person. It could be a habit or a belief. Being wholly materialistic versus wholly spiritual. And that goes back to the Course in Miracles reading, which is, I do not perceive my own best interests. So sometimes we get caught up in the physical world and we think that we want these things in the physical world, when really we want the more spiritual things of peace and harmony and balance and love and connection and joy. That's what we really want. And we think we're going to get it if we get a house or a car or move to an exotic location. No, it's more about like finding it within. We have to find it within ourselves first. We live in a world of extreme passions and heated hustles, so slowing down the desire for excess in any one area of your life may be harder than you think. So also balancing between getting more and more and going out in the world and looking for things, and letting go of the things that you have that are not serving you anymore, making space. Don't do drastic right now. Stay away from all or nothing choices. Clearing your energy of extremes will foster a dynamic, nourishing flow that is aligned with your perfect alchemical purpose. Seek equilibrium and be mindful of your resources while fusing all the elements to achieve a beautiful balance. Okay. The 10 of Swords. Painful endings. An opportunity to find deep healing, an opportunity to find hope and resiliency. So what is it that you learned from whatever you're letting go of? What did you learn? I was telling you, I learned about being loyal to myself. And just staying with myself, not abandoning myself. What did you learn from whatever you're letting go? I am healing every day. This 10 of Swords comes to us in times of blinding truth, when delusion is lifted. That's what I felt like. I had to see something that I didn't want to see. And I had to let it go. That can be really painful. Sometimes the truth is painful because it indicates backstabbing or personal loss. This card can mark an abrupt end to our current path and a jarring resolution in the form of a broken relationship, a blocked dream, a fractured partnership, or a discontinued career path. While these endings feel severe in the moment, the most potent seeds of hope are always planted in their place. Remember that our wounds teach us about our greatest strengths. And illuminate our innate ability to heal. Your dark night of the soul will be met with a beautiful new dawn that is filled with more light than you've ever experienced. Remain open to love and joy as you process this ending and look to the sunlight that awaits. Watching the sun peek over the horizon is the highest task of a bruised heart. Sometimes it's even hard to believe the things that are coming in because of that painful experience that you had in the past, and you may be questioning it. Is this real? It's pretty normal to do that when you've just been through so much. So the Three of Cups is friendships, abundance, cooperation, community, closeness with siblings, joy, communication, celebration, and soul contracts. I connect into this sacred siblinghood and into this expansive experience of witnessing through time. So you may have committed to something, whether it be yourself, another person, a new job, and you can keep committing to that as long as it's feeling right for your heart and your spirit. It's okay to commit to that and step into that. Trust yourself. And then we have the King of Pentacles. Overflowing material abundance, patience, and determination. A confident and warm leader providing for others. Comfort and security, personal growth, goals reached, prosperity, and success. And, sometimes we're afraid of that. We're afraid of our own light. I dream my endless potential into existence with steady desire and effort. That can be scary too, is like your light and what your place is in the world. I think that's what's coming up for me right now, is I do have all these dreams, and now I'm realizing they can come true. And that's a little scary. That's a little scary. Because what if they're not as I imagined them? What if I was wrong about it? What if I don't really know what I want? I guess as long as your spirit is involved, you're on the right path. I'm just going to pull some cards from The Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reid. What else do we need to know in order to stay on our right path? Let's bring this all together. And then maybe we'll have a family constellation that we could do to really help us enter into the present moment, really. I think if we stay in the present moment and we just make each choice in that present moment, staying with ourselves, not abandoning ourselves, being true to our heart, being true to our spirit, we will know what's right. And we can change whenever we need to. We can change course or direction whenever we are guided to. Okay. Had a couple cards jump out. These are good cards that I had been getting to. I feel like we just took a little detour. I thought we were getting where we wanted to go, and we just keep taking these little detours. Like fear keeps taking us on little detours, is what it feels like. But we got regeneration, or maybe it just takes time, and Treasure Island. So maybe it just takes time to let go of those things that were so important to us and such a part of our journey. Number 46. Rebirth, second chances, new opportunities. Second chances are available to you now. Whatever opportunities you thought were dead are now revived in a more authentic, stronger form. Whatever you may have perceived as a failure or loss is now being replaced by something better and more powerful growing in its place. I just planted a rose bush with my son today. This rebirth is assured. Step into your new life. Destiny is being fulfilled in wondrous ways. Okay, I'm going to read the protection message too because it seems like right. Endings come in many forms, and now is the time to stop holding on to what must die so that something better can take its place. Nature's cycles include disease, decay, death, and regeneration. Let whatever isn't working in your life die. Don't be afraid to face the facts. There is no need to struggle or grieve. Whatever your query, let it go. You're about to be reborn. And then we have number 9, Treasure Island. Who do you want to be reborn as? Who are you? I mean, that's also a journey. Like I'm learning who I am, and it's really fun to learn who I am. And I learn through other people and their reflection of me. That's what I was thinking this morning about mirrors and about breaking our old mirrors, because they were not really reflecting our light. So you need a new mirror. You need new mirrors, people that really reflect who you are, who you know you are. And maybe some people from your past were not reflecting that right to you. They didn't see you. They didn't see you accurately. Their mirrors were cracked and broken. Let go of those old mirrors and find new ones. Treasure Island, the law of attraction bringing dreams into fruition, the results of positive thinking made manifest, abundance appearing as if from nowhere, financial gains and the sharing of good fortune. You've worked hard and acted upon your unwavering belief in abundance, and suddenly, in the midst of it all, you hit the jackpot. You have uncovered the map to buried treasure and tapped the unlimited potential within you. What you must hone now is your ability to recognize when X marks the spot. Because some of these golden opportunities may be obvious, but others may not be so readily apparent. Trust your intuition to light your way now as you enter this truly prosperous phase, where all the long hard work navigating your inner life is now paying off externally. In all aspects of your life at this time, you have good fortune. Don't forget to enjoy it and share it with others, as treasure shared multiplies like magic. Okay, I'm also going to read the relationship message. Your relationship is a treasure, and this could be with you and this could be with other people, whoever comes to mind when I read this. Your relationship is a treasure, providing even more than you need, but you may not see that right now. No matter how long you've been together, you and your partner are always discovering hidden gems about yourselves. That's like what I'm talking about. It's your new mirror. And my new partner is helping me see things about myself that I definitely did not see with my other partner. And I didn't even know about myself. And so that's really cool, discovering that with somebody. It may be people that you're working with now, new people that you're working with, and new talents that you're developing and seeing in yourself. Who are your new mirrors? So no matter how long you've been together, you and your partner are always discovering hidden gems about yourselves and each other. Now is a time of discovery. It's as if everything is in sync and everything is new again. Romance blooms and love is in the air. You can be assured that this partnership will bring you great gifts and valuable lessons. Keep your heart open. The message of this card is to celebrate love and what it teaches you. So, like I said in one of my last videos, love is worth the risk. Keep your heart open and keep loving whatever it is that you love. Let that be the guiding force for you. And I do think that brings us back to the beginning and the message from A Course in Miracles. I do not perceive my own best interest. Because sometimes we don't, particularly in the past. We may not have, and we may have been recently disillusioned. So staying open and letting love be your guide. And so it is, and so you remember. Namaste. The light in me sees the light in you and reflects it right back. Queen of Cups.